so that we can make sure to get through all of this stuff in the next 60 minutes. I'm really excited to share. I'm so passionate about teaching this material. It has honestly just made such a big shift in my life and really in people around the world. It's such an amazing shift in how you operate that it's really exciting for me to have the opportunity to share with you guys today. So let us get started. So my name is Nicole Kernahan, Division Director at Elevated Worldwide and a Thinking into Results consultant. I'm going to share a little bit about myself and tell you a bit about my story. So so just hang on a second, and I will tell you a little bit about me before we get into too much detail. But before that, I would like to take a moment to ask you, why are you here today? To just think about yourself, think about it for a minute. What brought you here today? You know, like I said, you're taking time out of your busy schedule, you're taking time out of your life, and I'm so excited to have you. But really take a moment to think, why are you here today? What are you hoping to get out of it? Feel free to add a comment or two. I'm going to share with you the few things that I'm going to be talking about, and I really hope that this covers why you're here today. So the first one is, I want to be free of any financial concern. I want to be free of any financial concern. That is what we all want, really, but not only to be free of financial concern, but really to have, you know, even the ability to really give to others and to give back. That full circle is really something that a lot of us really are looking for, to have that ability to be relaxed and feel like we have the ability to give. Another one, oops, is I want to wake up every morning enthused about how I'm going to spend the day. Enthused about how I'm going to spend the day. Perhaps you maybe already feel like you've got financial freedom, and perhaps you may already feel like you are enthused about how you spend the day. But maybe you're not, or maybe you're partway there, or not quite all the way. So I really hope that I'm going to be shifting some of your ways of thinking to really give the opportunity to really tackle those two things. I love it. I love it. Just to, if you don't have this yet, the feeling of being excited when you wake up in the morning is amazing. And everyone, it's possible for everyone. The third one I'm going to talk about is the third thing that you may be here for, based on what you learned about this, is that you want to understand a roadmap to make quantum leaps in success in your business. And this may also apply for some of you, maybe here for your health or your life or any other area. These concepts apply to anything, and I'll share that in a second. But you know, I'm going to be sharing a roadmap today, a roadmap for you to really make those big leaps. You may already have success in some areas of your business or other areas, but really wanting to take that next step and that next jump. So I will be sharing that roadmap with you today. The key, here is the key, the most important part, without feeling overly stressed or working harder without those results. You know, when you're working harder and harder and harder, especially for those of you who are entrepreneurs who are really, you know, committed to your business and dedicated and working day in and day out, you want to be rewarded for that effort. And you don't want to be feeling overwhelmed or overly stressed. Okay, I'm not trying to claim here that it's magic and there's no work required. You do have to commit yourself to achieving some of these amazing things in your life, but you don't have to feel stressed every day, and you don't have to be working really hard and not getting those results. Okay, so I'm really hoping to help people break free of this, because I know that feeling, I understand it, and I really want to help you break free of that. Does that sound good? Does that sound good? Feel free to add a comment there if you guys want to add a little yes, that sounds about right. Sounds like what I'm looking for. So I want to share a promise with you today. My bold promise is that goal achievement isn't a secret. It's a system. It's a system. And if you follow this system and you shift your way of thinking, you shift your way of being, you can apply that system to any area of your life or your business. Does that sound good? I want to hear some, yeah, I want to hear some excitement. I know it's evening for most of you. So I hope I can keep your energy up and keep your enthusiasm up at this time. Yay, yay. Awesome. I'm excited. Love you guys. You're awesome. So one more thing. I'm going to be talking a little bit about this, but I want to make sure that you differentiate between an event versus a process. Okay? If you stay with me to the end, I'm going to be sharing you a process the process that I use to engage in daily. Okay? And then I'm also going to be sharing, this is a bit of a bonus, but I'm going to be sharing with you a free 30-day gratitude program. It's brand new. It's not even quite ready yet, but it's a new program we're working on. And I'm gonna offer that to you guys at the end. But I really want to differentiate between an event and a process. Okay, John Maxwell is he is a personal and professional development coach, if you're not familiar with him, but he really says if you want to be inspired, you'll attend an event. If you really want to change, you'll follow a process and stick to it. If you want to change your results, you have to stick to it. This isn't rocket science. You probably know this, but it's important for me to point it out that you have to follow a process. It's not just a one-time excitement and then overnight everything is dramatically changed, okay? So some housekeeping. So I'd like to recommend that we're all busy doing multiple things, but try to take this hour and just let it sink in and absorb. Minimize the multitasking, close the door, tell everyone you're busy. I mentioned the chat box there, but for anyone who jumped in a little bit later, there's 3 dots you can see in your panel where it says more. If you hover over it, there's 3 dots there, and you can just scroll down and hit the chat button. And you can feel free to add comments or share or questions. I will save a lot of the questions till the end, but there will be some points in the middle where you can feel free to add some of your thoughts. And grab a pen and paper. You're welcome to take lots of notes. Okay, so most of you have met at some point, somewhere or another, but most of you don't really know me. So I want to make sure I give you a little bit of my background. So like I said, my name is Nicole Kernahan. I actually have a business degree. So I went to university for business, and I worked in the corporate world for about 10 years. That was my actual office building there. I worked on the 12th floor, the 14th floor, a few different spots throughout those 10 years in marketing, in strategy, in consulting, in buying, quite a few areas that I worked through, and I really enjoyed it, and I loved it, and it was an amazing experience. But it wasn't my full passion. And there's one other thing. One thing I want to point out is that something that most people would never know. And I'm putting this in here because I really want to point out that the material I'm going to share with you today can affect any area of your life, not just your business. Some of you actually, I think, maybe even here for your health. So I really want to share with you something that most people would never know about me, is that I have multiple sclerosis. If you're not familiar with it, it's typically a degenerative condition that affects the myelin sheath, which is that protective layer on the nerves in your brain. And I have several spots in my brain that have had the myelin sheaths been damaged. And about 14 years ago, I had a physical episode where I was essentially paralyzed on the right side for about 2 months. And that was pretty, obviously when that happens, that's a concerning situation. I was only 22 at the time. The doctor said they didn't really know why it happened, and they didn't know whether I would recover or not, whether I would regain my functionality. I'm very blessed and grateful because I didn't hear that. I heard it. I remember them saying it, but I didn't let it sink in. I said, okay, that's your, that's fair. That's your professional opinion, but I choose a different way. And I made the decision that I was going to do whatever it takes to live my healthiest, happiest life. Like I said, I was really young, and I was willing to do whatever it takes. So that's me with my son there in the middle. You can see he was about 3 weeks old there. We do this walk pretty much every year. And he came with us that year and slept most of the way. But I've managed my health for over 14 years through mindset, lifestyle, and nutrition and health supplements. It starts with the mindset. If I didn't believe that I was worth it, that it was possible, and I wasn't committed to making a change, then I wouldn't have done all the research and study and met with all the health professionals and experts and taken all that information in and implemented it, right? So it starts with the mindset. And then for me, this is a health condition. So obviously, for me, I really put a lot of emphasis into that health side, the nutrition and natural health supplements. Okay, so I just want to, for most people, you would never know it to see me. And, the doctors, my neurologist is always shocked because he says that you still have MS, it's still lesions in your brain, but you don't have any physical symptoms anymore. So it's been pretty exciting. I'm happy to chat more about that if anyone has questions. So just to carry on a little bit more quickly about my story, because of my health experience and my passion for health and helping others, I decided to leave the corporate world, leave that 10 years in that corporate office and open a retail business. I opened a retail health store. That was me the first day of getting the keys. I was very excited. You can see my enthusiasm there. And I became a registered nutritional consulting practitioner. And I really enjoyed it. I was able to literally work with thousands of people through that store to really help them change their health and help them improve their results. But sorry, and there's one other thing I just mentioned. I love this because you can tell my passion and my excitement. I absolutely love to share and to teach. And I did do a number of television episodes where I would teach about health and nutrition and mindset and lifestyle and really try to get the message out. But I want to tell you something that is important. It seemed all exciting and roses and fun, and it felt like it made sense, right? Because I had a business background. I had worked in, and that corporation I worked in was actually a retail company that operated retail franchises. So I had a big background in retail operations, and my parents are entrepreneurs. They've run businesses their whole life. So it really felt like it all fit together and made a lot of sense. But I was struggling. My business was struggling, and I was putting effort in, and it was interesting. Was what was happening is I was starting to let my current results affect my thoughts, and that was affecting my feelings. And then when I wasn't feeling as good, then that affects your actions. And it was this kind of cycle that most people go through when you're in a tough situation. And the other thing, I had a lot of unanswered questions was also about health, about clients, because I had been able to change my habits so quickly and so dramatically. When I had that MS episode, I literally made a dramatic shift to my diet and lifestyle and supplements, and I stuck to it, and I still stick to it. Most people, I understood I had a big episode. I had an emotional impact, we'll call it. But most people are not able, at least they believe they're not able. They believe they're not able, is more importantly. They believe they're not able to change their habits. And then they just go back to their old habitual way of being. After, a week goes by, 2 weeks go by, they're motivated, excited, and then they go back to their old way. And, the time, they didn't have the time, they didn't have the money, they got busy, something happened in life, and they just kind of went back to the old way. And I just felt like I need to find a better way to help really get people to shift their way of being. What is happening in the mind that is holding them back and holding them to their current ways? So I had all these questions. I thought they were unrelated. The fact, figuring out my thoughts and my actions with my business and figuring out the clients. But what I realized was that they are all connected. The results that you get in your business are going to be affected in the exact same way as results that you would get in your health, in your relationships, in your life, in any area. It all goes back to where results come from in the first place, the mind. When I started to dig into this, it was like light bulbs and flashing lights and jumping jacks, and oh my gosh, why doesn't everybody know this? When I first started to learn this, and I've studied some personal and professional development in the past, I've taken other courses, I had some base of knowledge, but what I'm going to share today was just a very different way of thinking. And I was just almost beside myself when I started to learn this information. Do you want to hear it? You guys want to hear what I learned? I hope so. I'm very excited about it. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Feel free to add a comment here and there. Yes, yes. Yeah, awesome. Yes, I do. I want to hear it. Tell me more. Yes, yes, yes. You guys are fun. So what did I discover? So I actually stumbled into one of Bob Proctor's seminars where he was teaching the laws of the mind and how our mind controls our results. But if you're not familiar with Bob Proctor, he has been studying the mind and success for over 55 years. He is well recognized amongst many of the professional development experts in the world as being an expert on the mind. That's him in the middle in that black and white photo, really young, with Earl Nightingale and Lloyd Conant. Those are two other professional and personal development individuals. They actually started the self-help industry. It wasn't even a thing when they really got involved. And Bob, he literally went from earning $4,000 a year, being sick all the time, being broke, being miserable, to earning over $1 million in just a few years, being healthy, being happy. He had such a dramatic shift in all areas of his life that he dedicated the rest of his life to really figuring out what he had done and what all the world's most successful people do, and what is that common denominator, and what are those factors that put together. And when you hear him speak, if you've heard him speak, then you know this. If you haven't, you should definitely listen in. He is so, because he's really gone through such a big shift in his life, he just would love to just inject this in everyone and just if you could just get it and switch it overnight. Unfortunately, it isn't quite as easy as that to let this information resonate. I'm going to share some of these key concepts with you in just a moment, but he is so passionate about helping others, and it's really exciting. And I absolutely love it. He's written some bestseller books. If you're not, again, one other thing is if you do recognize him, or you kind of figure out where you've seen him, you might recognize him from the movie The Secret. It came out in 2006. That was one of his most public. That was one of the first times he kind of publicly became aware. But he's been studying this for many years prior to that. So because I stumbled across this, I decided that I wasn't only going to learn this and study this to change my own life, but that I wanted to be able to teach this to others. So I actually am now a certified consultant, and I'm mentored by Bob Proctor. He's in Toronto. He lives in Toronto. We meet a few times a year for about 5 days, and I study this material every single day. He's been studying it every single day for 55 years. So I'm just at the tip of that, the rest of my life. I will be studying this every single day. And it has made such a profound impact. And now I'm able to coach entrepreneurs, individuals, businesses to really elevate their success through positive psychology and understanding how our thoughts control our actions and our results. So Bob's put that material together, all of his study and research, into a program and a system where someone like myself, where we can, become a certified consultant and actually share and facilitate this material. So one other thing, I just want to tie this really quickly, is this has led me to Tony Child. Tony Child is another consultant. He's also certified with Bob Proctor, like myself. We have the same, we teach the same material, but there's a few of us who have joined together with this company called Elevated Worldwide. I'm mainly explaining this because you might see the name Elevated Worldwide in certain places and things, and I just want to clarify what that is. So Tony Child is the founder of Elevated Worldwide. He is also certified with John Maxwell, and he's getting his master's in positive psychology. So I work with him several times a week. He lives out in Utah, actually, but we work together several times a week, and we really work together with individuals, entrepreneurs, businesses, and really help to combine our thoughts to really get the best results for others. And he's amazing, and is really, really genuinely nice person to be around. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. That's what I'm gonna share for today. There's obviously a much broader piece of that, but actually, sorry, there's one important thing I should mention. I did leave the retail store, so you may have caught that, but just in case it wasn't totally clear, I chose to leave that retail business because, and I'm going to explain it a little bit more when I talk about goals, it'll make more sense to you, but it wasn't, it just wasn't the right fit. And I decided that I wanted to be able to teach this material, really, really like commit to this to help others make really dramatic shifts in their life. So this is, I want you guys to take a moment right now to let what I'm going to ask you sink in. Okay. Imagine what your life will be like. I'm going to ask you 4 questions, and I really want you to take a moment to absorb this, because when everything I'm talking about today and everything I'm going to share with you has to resonate deep in your mind, has to really resonate in your heart and in yourself. We're not talking about just surface level things. You want to make sure it's really resonating. It has to be meaningful and important to you. So I like to kind of pepper throughout, really give you the opportunity to give yourself a check and say, okay, really, how am I feeling? How's this feeling? So before I share the secrets, I want to ask you, what will it feel like? What will your life be like when you make quantum leaps in your results? Not just little incremental baby steps, when you can really make a big leap in your results, when you are free of financial concern, when you wake up enthused about how the day will be spent, and when you have a roadmap for success in any area of life. So just take a moment to breathe for a second and let that really sink in, because that is exactly what happened to Bob, and this is what is happening to my life and has happened. And I just want to make sure that you take a moment to really let that sink in. Okay. So I want to share, just before I get in, a couple of quotes, a couple of testimonials. I find this is important for people to really resonate with the material itself and what we're talking about here. So there's a couple, I'm just going to share a couple, but this is just a testimonial from another small business owner. She says, this material with Nicole's Weekly Coaching has made such a significant shift in my mindset, stress level, and time management with running my business and coordinating life's accountabilities. I feel inspired every coaching session, and I'm taking action in a way I previously wouldn't have, and the results are showing. This is a really amazing story, because if you knew her before, like, you can just see such a shift in her stress and in her actions. And honestly, she's made such a big shift in her results. It's amazing. So another quick example that I'll share, regional HR manager. I don't share all the company names, of course, just, for confidentiality. But Vicki says, this program has helped me to clearly define my goal to the point where I can focus on what I need to do. I'm going to tell you guys about, I'm going to share with you some of these secrets today, so don't worry, but really focus on what I need to do. We need to have a clearly defined goal. And she says, this is something I've not had up to this point. I found the whole program to be of great value in learning how my thinking, self-image, and the way I look at my environment is what creates my results. I like that I can change my results just by applying what we have learned. It's really all about our thinking. So just want to change the slide. So I'm going to ask you to take a moment here just to pause and to think a little bit differently. Some of you, if you've studied some personal or professional development things or materials or other experts, and some of these things may be not rocket science to you, that the idea of big goals, but I really want to ask you to take a moment to just think a bit differently, because what I'm going to be telling you requires you to think differently. It requires you to think. For most people, this requires you to think differently. And some of it, you're going to be like, what? I can't do that. That doesn't make sense. So just trust me. This isn't my opinion. This is based on proven research from Harvard University and Yale on positive psychology and Bob's 55 years of research. So just be open-minded to think a little bit differently. Does that sound good? Love to see your comments. Say, yes, I'd love to. It sounds good. Excellent. So let's get into it. I'm going to share 3 secrets today. The first secret how to set a big goal you can't wait to jump out of bed for. Yay, yay. Awesome. Just seeing some comments coming through. I love your enthusiasm in the evening. It's exciting. So the first secret is how to set a big goal you can't wait to jump out of bed for. I love that fish. That fish is going to a bigger pond and it's jumping out of bed. We want to make sure you have a goal that you are so excited about working towards. Second thing, I'm going to talk about the two parts of the mind and how your mind controls all of your current results. Every result you're getting in your business and in your life right now is a reflection of your thoughts. Not your conscious thoughts, but your deep-rooted subconscious beliefs, and all of your actions and behaviors are automatic. They're automatically happening, but they are all a reflection of your thoughts. And the third thing I'm going to touch on is the knowing-doing gap. Okay, how do I break free of, why don't I do what I know I should be doing or what I know how to do for success? So let's get into it, how to set a big goal. So I'm going to start with a quote from Will Smith. I love sharing quotes from successful, famous people. We seem to think that they know more than us and we resonate with them. So let's see. He says, being realistic is the most common path to mediocrity. Okay, I'm going to repeat that. Being realistic is the most common path to mediocrity. What I'm about to ask you to do with goal setting is we're going to break free of the realistic, of the logical, of the safe, of the, what really makes sense, what I should do. Okay, we've got to break free of that, of being realistic. If we want a amazing life, if we want to get amazing results, we have to break free of this idea of being realistic, which is difficult because our society programs us to be realistic. Okay, so let's get into it. I'm going to talk about 3 types of goals. There's the first type of goal is an A-type goal. An A-type goal is something you know how to do. So you've either already done it or you know how to do it. So if you have a Mazda and you want to buy another one, go ahead, you're able to do that. But because you've already done it and you know how to do it, we're not going to call that a big goal. We'll call that more of a task. Okay, it's more of a task. Now, this particular picture is a very beautiful car. That is a big goal because that's not your average little car. But conceptually, when you're doing something that you have done before and you know how to do, we're going to call that more of a task or a base camp goal, not a big goal for your life. The second type of goal is a B-type goal. The B-type goal is what you think you know how to do. What you think you know how to do. So if this happens and this happens, and if I do that and that, if I get this education and I get that, money from that place and I get time because my kids are going to be moving out and this other thing happens and, I do these experiences and I take these steps, yes, I believe that I can do this. You put a clear plan together, you've got all your action steps and your timelines, and you make a B-type goal. This is where most people cap. Most people cannot let their minds go past a B-type goal. This was me. I would have considered myself a goal achiever. I set goals and I achieved goals, but I set B-type goals. A and B type goals. And that's great. You are going to have A and B type goals in your life. I'm not asking you to completely eliminate them. You will have some of these in your path. But a B type goal is really dangerous. It is dangerous, okay? Let this sink in. It is dangerous because what happens is you think you know how to do it. You have a plan. So you take a step, and what if you fall? What if it doesn't work? What if you fail? Fear, worry, and doubt. Oh, what was I thinking? You go back to your safe place. Most people just go back. We really get stuck with, thinking we know how to do it. So we're not inspired, we're not motivated. Even if you don't step and fail, sometimes you just barely even step, or you're just not inspired to jump out of bed in the morning. But when you have a C-type goal, a C-type goal is your wants. That is what you really, really want. Okay, let me explain this quickly. When you're going after your wants, you have to remove all the reasons why you can't. I can't do that. I don't have the time. I don't have the money. I don't have the education. I don't even know where to start. Remove all that for now. And the other thing is, when you're going after what you want, you have to also take out what you currently know or what your current experience is. If you've always been in a certain line of work and you've always been in finance, then you think, well, I guess I probably should just do something in finance because that's what I'm good at. That's what I know. That's what I went to school for. If that's not what you really want, you're not going to live your happiest, best life. You're not going to be the most successful version of you. So you have to be willing to break free of all the reasons why you can't, or why you shouldn't, or why it's not realistic, or why it's not smart, or why it's not logical, or why it's not safe. Okay? So I want you to take some time and think about different areas of your life, but definitely within your business, when if you really want to set some goals of things that you really, really want, even if you don't know how to do it, you don't even think you know how to do it, but it's what you really want. In fact, if you do know how to do it, or you think you know how to do it, it's not big enough. So we want to go a little bit bigger. This really requires you to stretch. It requires you to dig in, spend some time, quiet down, and really follow. Actually, I'm going to share with you a process to creating that goal towards the end, but you really have to spend some time figuring out what you really want. And it's tricky because our society programs us to set these A and B type goals. So for most people, you'll catch yourself 20 times with all the reasons why you can't. And then you really have to spend a lot of time narrowing and honing in on that C type goal. Okay, does that sound good? Is this exciting? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Does this sound, like, wow, yay, I'm so excited. I'm going to give you permission to go after a C-type goal, okay? You got my permission. Yes, awesome. So once you have your goal, you may have an idea right now, in any area, business or health, you may have a lot of goals. Actually, I'm going to step back one quick second. Sorry. I want to touch on this really quickly, because what often happens is people have a whole bunch of different goals and they want all of them. And that's okay. You may have a vision, like a vision board. Some of you may already have one. If you don't, that's a great idea to create a vision board. You may have a lot of things that you want. A lot of things that you want for yourself, a lot of things that you want for your family, a lot of things you may want to give back, but we really have to hone in and be crystal clear on what direction you're going in. If you're going in 10 directions at once, you're not going to get there. You're not going to get there effectively and efficiently and quickly enough, and it could cause stress and anxiety when trying to go after so many things. So we really want to make sure you can have a big vision, with a lot of things, but we have to hone in and really reel in what that specific goal is that we're going after for you. Okay, so let's go into secret number 2. This is where the magic happens. Once you have your goal, you have to understand that there are 2 parts of the mind. And like I said, your mind controls all of your current results. So if you're here, let's just use this visual depiction. So if you're looking at the screen here, it says this is where you currently are, and this is where you're going, your goals. If it's so simple and so obvious that that's where I want to go, that's my goal, I know where I want to go. Maybe you already had a big goal coming into this. You know where you want to go. If it's so simple and it's so obvious, then why would you be still where you are? Why are so many people stuck? Why do we stay where we are when we know where we want to go, where we know we want something different? It's funny, you may have heard this before, but I saw a quote recently that said, if you don't like where you are, move. You're not a tree. Right? It's kind of funny. Okay, I shouldn't share jokes when I can't hear you guys laughing in the background. But it's an interesting concept. I like what they're saying. It's, you know, a little blunt, like, okay, just get up and move. You're not a tree. Or are you? Or are you? Are you a tree? Are you stuck and glued exactly where you are? The reason so many people are stuck is because of what is known as your paradigms. I'd love to hear you guys. If you can say yes or no. If you've heard the word paradigms, you may or may not have a clear understanding of what it is, or you may have some concept. But the reason people stay glued like a tree, like a magnet, exactly where they are, is because of their paradigms. So, what the heck are my paradigms? What are paradigms? Well, I've given you a big hint with this woman in a box here. It is the box that you live in. It is the way you see the world. It is all of your habits. Every single one of your habits are part of your paradigm. It's your habitual way of being. You're on automatic. It's autopilot. You don't even realize 99% of your behaviors are automatic, are habitual. They are habitual behaviors. They're not conscious thoughts. You're not consciously saying, am I going to put my left leg in or my right leg in when I put my pants on this morning? You're just going to put them on. It'd be interesting for you guys to think about it. Which leg did you put on first this morning? It's automatic. We don't realize that almost all of our behaviors are habitual. And almost all of our thoughts are also habitual and automatic. We actually have majority of the thoughts that you had today are the same thoughts you had yesterday and the one day before and the day before. We have an immense amount of repetition on these habitual thoughts and these habitual behaviors. So I want to share a couple of things that are in your paradigm. One or a couple aspects, I guess, of your paradigm. One thing to really be aware of is that your paradigm, this habitual way of being, this way that you are, was created right from when you were born. The way you were raised, everything that happened to you throughout your entire life. A lot of your paradigm was really formed when you were a child, when you were young. A lot of, if you were really supported and encouraged, if you were put down, if you were bullied, if you struggled, if you succeeded, if you had, challenges or different issues or traumatic experiences, all of these things that happened created a view that you see the world, the way you think that things happen. And let me tell you something that goes into this when you're a child, that goes right into your paradigm. When a child is the age 17, they've heard the words, no, you can't, an average of 150,000 times. And they've heard the words, yes, you can, an average of 5,000 times. That's 30 no's for every one yes. That leads to a very powerful belief of I can't. But you can. You can. But you have been programmed to think I can't. And it's not your fault. You didn't put that programming in. You didn't create that programming, but it's there. You have to be aware of it so that we can break free of it. So that idea of I can't really stems back to self-image. So I'm not going to talk a lot about self-image today, but I do spend a lot of time with people on self-image. It is one of the most important parts of your paradigm. You will never go beyond where you believe you can go. You will never go beyond the image that you have of yourself. If you see yourself as limited, as a certain level of success in any area of your life, you cannot physically go past that, because that is the image that you have of yourself. You have to create a new image, a new higher self-image. Okay, so there's a lot of things in these paradigms, but it really all boils down to this habitual way of being, your self-image, your beliefs, the way you see the world, the way you see yourself, and all of your habits are automatic. Okay, hopefully this is hopefully this is exciting. It's kind of annoying and exciting and confusing and all sorts of different feelings when you really start to hear this. But it's exciting because now you know this, you're aware of this. Now you don't want to spend the rest of your life saying, oh, I'd like to do that, but I can't because my paradigm holds me back, so, I'd like to change my diet, but I got this paradigm and it just, holds me right here. We can't use it as a crutch, but being aware of it allows you to start the process of breaking free from it. Okay, so I'm going to share a couple of visual depictions here. This is really important, and I actually would like to say this is the most valuable thing I've ever learned. You probably think it's a little funny because it's a stick person. And how could this possibly be the most valuable thing that I've ever learned? And it's the most valuable thing that Bob Proctor says he has ever learned. So when I ask you, I'm going to take a moment and ask you guys. You may not feel like answering, but feel free if you would like to. Where is your mind? When you're talking about your physical body, where is your mind? Where is your mind when it comes to your body? Most of the time people don't comment here because they're a little scared and embarrassed that they're trying to figure that out, trying to picture it right now. Most people think that their mind is in their, let's just see if we get comments here. In their head. Yes. Yay. I'm excited. Thank you for commenting on that. It's funny when I do live seminars, it's just hilarious to watch the group because everyone kind of sheepishly points to their head, but then they're kind of confused by the question. We think it's in our head. We think it's in our head because that is just kind of what our society has created as this visual representation. But if you go in to do brain surgery, are you going to find your mind in there? I gotta work on my mind. I've got a bad mind. I better go in and do an operation on it. You can't find your mind. Your mind is in every cell of your body. You've got muscle memory too, right? Your mind is in every cell of the body. This is one of the greatest challenges in the world, I would say. I'm sounding very dramatic, but really, we don't have a picture of the mind. No one has ever seen the mind, and yet it is the mind that you need to change in order to change the results in your life. So this visual depiction, this little silly stick person, was actually created by a chiropractic doctor in 1932, Dr. Thurman Fleet. And he was a doctor of psychology as well, and he really said that we need a picture of the mind. We think in pictures. As humans, we think in pictures. This is a whole other story, but as a human, you think in pictures. When you think of your car if you say your car is red, you're picturing the car. You're not thinking the word R-E-D. You see a picture. You see a picture. Every thought you have has a picture associated with it. We don't have a picture of the mind. So this is a visual depiction of the mind so that you can be able to change it. So that top circle we're going to call the mind. That bottom circle is the body. And your body creates actions. Your actions lead to your results. I'm going to break this down one step further. The two parts of the mind. Okay. My screen is freezing here. Here we go. So the two parts of the mind. The top half of the mind, that is your conscious mind. The bottom half of the mind, that is your subconscious mind. This is the visual depiction you need to ingrain and print on your mind. Get a picture of this crystal clear so that you can understand how your mind works and how to change it. So there's some important things I'm going to talk about with this. That top half of your mind, your conscious mind. That's where all your five senses are. You see, hear, smell, taste, and touch. That's where you come up with new ideas. That is where you create this big C goal that you are so excited about and you can't wait. That is where you gather all your knowledge. That's where you learn all your education. That's what you're doing right now. You guys are listening here today. You're filling up your conscious mind with new information, new knowledge. So this is all your knowledge, education, all the books you read, all the schooling you've ever done, every experience that you've had that you learned, that you consciously learned from, I should say, and all the ideas that you come up with, they are all in your conscious mind. Your conscious mind is not the part of the mind that controls your actions. It's the subconscious mind. The subconscious mind, that is that deeper level of your mind. It cannot reject. It must accept whatever it is given, and it can't differentiate between what's real or what's imagined. You have to be able to transfer what you want from the conscious mind into the subconscious mind, because you can tell in this picture, your subconscious mind is what's connected to your body. Your body is what is going to create your actions. Your actions are going to deliver your results. Another way of saying it is your conscious mind is your thinking mind. It's the conscious thinking. Your subconscious mind is your feeling mind. It's all your feelings, all of your habits, all your entire paradigm is all deep rooted in that subconscious mind. And that is the part of the mind that controls your body and your actions and your results. Okay, so it's really important. It doesn't matter what's in your conscious mind unless you are able to shift it into your subconscious mind to actually change your behaviors. You know, you probably know a lot of people who've got so much education and information, and yet they're not applying it, not implementing in their life. It's a different part of the mind that we're working with. Okay, this leads us into secret number 3, understanding the knowing-doing gap. So I'm going to just carry on with this picture because this is all connected. The top part of your mind is the knowing mind. That's where you fill it up with knowledge. That's where you make a conscious decision to say, yes, I'm going to make a change. I'm going to do this, and I know what to do. The subconscious mind, that bottom part of your mind, that is the doing mind. That is the part that actually, like I said, that actually controls all of your results. One of the keys here, there's one word that's really important in breaking this knowing-doing gap, and that word is belief. That word is belief. There's a lot of aspects. I'm going to talk to you a lot more about this, but there's one word I want you to think about is that you have to believe. You have to believe that you're able, that it's possible for you. It's not, now your belief doesn't change overnight because your belief is a subconscious part of your paradigm. But we have to really go through a process to knowing how to change that belief. So I'd just like to share this one last visual depiction of this. That top is where you put information in, and the bottom is your paradigms. Those things that hold you like glue right where you are. But you can change them. You can change them. Anyone can change their paradigms if you really want to. So here is an important message. If you want a different result, you need a new paradigm. End of story, period. This is not my opinion. If you want a different result, it's not just my opinion, it is also my opinion, but I'm sharing a fact. If you want a different result, you need a new paradigm. So if you really want a big shift in your results, then you need a big shift in your paradigm. Okay, and you can change your paradigm. I'm gonna talk a little bit about that, but you know, some parts of it you might shift in a week. Some parts of it might take a month. Some parts might take 3 months. Some take 6 months. But you need to really believe that it's possible and understand that you have to get a new paradigm. So let me ask you, who wants a new paradigm? Who wants to change the paradigm? I'd love to hear your thoughts. If this is resonating with you and it's making sense and you're excited, I'd love to hear your thoughts. If anyone wants a new paradigm, magically new paradigm. Yes, yes, awesome. Yes, I want a new paradigm. Maybe. We don't have to take we don't have to take out the good parts of your paradigm, okay? Your paradigm, you have good habits and you have habits you want to change. We don't need to change the good parts of your paradigm. We just want to make some shifts in the paradigm. In the parts of your paradigm that aren't serving you well. Awesome. Okay, so here's the magical question. How do I change my paradigm? How do I change my paradigm? Or my paradigms, really, all these habitual behaviors. So it starts, the first step that you need is to make a decision. Successful people have the habit of making decisions quickly and sticking to them. Successful people have the habit of making decisions quickly and sticking to them and changing them very slowly, if at all. Most people are the opposite of that. Most of us take forever to make a decision. We think about it, we hum and haw, we go back and forth, maybe should I don't know. We take forever to make a decision. And then one bump on the road, it doesn't quite look like it's going right, and we just change our mind, go back, never mind, that decision, that obviously wasn't the right decision, we go back. So most of us are slow to make a decision and then change it quickly and abruptly. We have to create the habit of the opposite. We have to make decisions quickly and stick to them. Okay, now here's the key. You have to decide right where you are with whatever you've got. You are never gonna have, okay, maybe some people will, but let's be realistic. When you're going after a C-type goal, you don't know how to do it. So you don't have the exact circumstances, you don't have all the resources, you don't have the people, you don't have everything you need, because you're going after something that is far beyond what you've ever done before. You have to make a decision right where you are with whatever you've got. And know that the people, the resources, the circumstances, the situations will come to you as they are needed. Okay, this is really tough for a lot of people to do. Now, you know, as you build a deeper understanding of the mind and of your paradigms and of habits and how to change things over time, it's a lot easier to make those decisions because you understand how you operate and how results happen. But we really have to just make a commitment and say, 2017, I'm going to make a quantum leap in my results. I'm going to make I'm worth it. And, you know, and really kind of make that decision, even though I don't know how and I don't have everything I need right now. Awesome. So I want to go back to this quote I mentioned at the beginning. I hope that I really do, honestly, hopefully you can tell my excitement, but I really hope that this is new information and that this is, and even if it's repeat for some of you, that you're just getting a refresher and really letting this resonate with you. I really hope that you get inspired. I absolutely love to teach and share this material, and I love inspiring and motivating people to take action and really make a shift in their life. But I have to repeat this quote from John Maxwell. He says, if you want to be inspired, you'll attend an event. Events are awesome. They're amazing. I love events. You can continue to go to events. But if you really want to improve, you'll follow a process and stick to it. You know, the law of declining intent. Pretty much everyone has experienced it, but some maybe more than others. You get excited, you get inspired, 24 hours goes by, 48 hours goes by, kind of forgot a little bit about what I learned, go back to my old ways, and a week goes by and you're just exactly back in your old paradigm. Your paradigm is like a magnet. It's so strong. It's your habitual way of being. It has been developed throughout your entire life. So you really, it's one-time events. I do love them and I support them and I attend them myself and I encourage it, but it's not going to change your paradigm. You have to follow a process daily, really, to really make a shift in your, a big shift in your paradigm. So I'm going to ask you guys, I want to take a moment. I want to make sure, hopefully you've got some new exciting information. Would you like to learn a little bit about the process that I use to change paradigms? So as I mentioned, I'm certified with Bob Proctor. So I would love to, I hope you guys are excited to hear about it. I would love to show you what this process is that I use in my own life every single day, and that I also use with my clients and that people use all around the world. Do you guys want to hear a little bit about it? I'll let you know. Yes. Awesome. Yes, what it is. Yeah, awesome. Okay, so it is called Thinking into Results and the Elevated Thoughts Process. So you can see this was actually Bob's 55 years of research. He compiled it all together into this material. you know, he can't be everywhere with everyone all the time, but he has actually recorded this material and this process so that people can change their paradigms. That's what he did. He changed his paradigm. That's how he went from earning $4,000 a year to over $1 million, being sick and unhappy, and to being healthy and happy. He changed his paradigm. So he's created a process to help others do the same. So there's 12 modules. So the first one is about the goal. We've got to become crystal clear on that big goal. We go through the knowing doing gap, but we go through that very specifically for you. What is your knowing doing gap? I'll work through fear, how to break through fear, self-image, belief, attitude, leadership, quantum leaps in your results, even the idea of giving back and masterminding with others. So there's 12 different modules that we go through. Live weekly coaching sessions. So this is really important. I work with you every single week. So it's really important, like I was saying, when we're trying to change paradigms, it is every single week. Well, it's every single day actually, but I'm working with you guys with every week. Anyone, if you guys are interested in learning more, I'll show you how we can talk about that later. But I work with them every single week. There are in-depth individual daily lessons. I do this exactly the same way as my clients do. So I also do in-depth individual daily lessons, and it is really, really critical to do it every single day. If you want to change your paradigm and you want to change your results, you have to change your habitual way of being. So that requires a little bit every day. It's not a lot of time, but a little bit of time every day. Worksheets and activities, a daily elevated thoughts journal, and a goal card, as well as a dynamic support group. And that's really important, really being able to see other people going through the experience and what are they learning and their wins. That's one of my favorite parts, is really being able to see others really expand. So this process changes paradigms. We call it the paradigm buster. This changes paradigms. So that is thinking into results in a nutshell, giving you just a quick high-level view. I want to be cognizant of our time here today. But I do want to give you a couple of options. Again, I hope you've been inspired and educated, and I love to share this material. If you are interested in talking to me, or even if you think you know anyone who might be interested, I offer a free consult. So I'm happy to talk a little bit more about your goals and what's holding you back, and just understanding a little bit more about the thinking into results process. But really, I can help you understand a little bit more about where you're going and what may be holding you back. So I would love you guys, write this down if you don't have it. If you are interested in a free consult anytime, I absolutely love to help. I hope you can feel this. I genuinely just want to help you. This material, it is so impactful, and when you see people's lives changes and their results in their business and all those freedoms coming, I'm really motivated and inspired to help others. So if you'd like a free consult, feel free, you just type in keepelevated.com/appointments, and you can book a time. That my calendar is all in there. You just got to go down to Nicole Kernahan, because there's 4 consultants listed there. So make sure you pick my name, and we can have a quick conversation and learn a bit more about you and what's holding you back, and hopefully I can help guide you a little bit there. So if you want, you guys can do it right away. I'm not trying to say that to rush you by any means. I'm trying to say that because I know how the mind works and the law of declining intent, that if you are interested, just take action right now. If you're not interested, I'm totally cool. I hope you got a lot of value. I do a lot of these free seminars and webinars, and I'd love to share. You can come anytime. But I definitely want to make sure, if you are interested, please take action before you forget or you go back to your old paradigm. One other thing I want to mention is if some of you are on here and you're so excited and you're like, oh my gosh, this is amazing, I'm totally ready, I just want to get started, and you really want to work on that goal specifically, I actually have an option to do the goal portion. So really, it's 2-week training and coaching, and I'm really going to work on with you that whole thinking into results process. You get the lessons, the worksheets, the the journal, all those steps that I talked about, 2 weekly Q&A sessions and a free one-on-one with me, but really focused on the creation of the goal. So it's just, if you want to get started and you're excited to try and get that goal created, then I want to make sure that this option is for you guys, available for you. And I'm actually doing it at a discount. It's regular $279. It's actually only $149 today. So, well, for webinar for you guys today, I want to make sure I make it an option, especially because a lot of you I have met at some point or another somewhere along the line. So I want to give you guys a special deal if you want to really work specifically on that goal. So you can either email me or you can book that free appointment, and I'm happy to walk through that with you. And I mentioned this earlier. If you're interested, if you do a free consult, or if you do the 2-week that 2-week goal creation program, then I would love to give you a free copy of this Elevated Gratitude program. It's not quite ready yet, but it's coming soon. If you're not already doing daily gratitude, this could change your life. If you want to feel better immediately, you have to be grateful for what you already have. Grateful, but not content, because we all, like, not content in the sense that we always want to change and grow, but being grateful for what you already have. Really want to make sure that you spend the time to focus on being grateful. Okay, so I think we're pretty much all done. I just want to encourage you guys, if you're thinking about for yourself, for your goal, if you went through this today and you've got a bit of clarification, you have some idea of your goal, and I have to go through these now because they're going to come back and they're going to come hit you later tonight or tomorrow if I don't mention it now. If you're thinking, yes, I want to make a quantum leap in my results, but I don't think I have the time. I just don't have the time. I don't have the time to commit to making those changes and to shifting my paradigm, or just, really committing to the idea of this big goal. I think I'm okay. I'll just stay where I am. It's fine. I'll just stick in this comfortable comfort zone that I'm in. I like to share this, but when it comes to time, you don't need the time until you make the decision. Until you make a decision that you're going to make a big shift, the time will be available to you. You don't need the time. You don't need to think of ways to where the time will come. You don't have to worry about that because you haven't made a decision. So it starts with the decision. When you make a decision, the time, the resource, the situation will come to you. The other thing is, with changing your paradigm and changing your habitual way of being, you will become more efficient with your time. So you will actually get that time. Okay, so we don't want to use time as a reason for not going after your goals. The other one that I love to talk about is the idea of investing in yourself. So I love this picture of this boomerang, of whipping it out, and it comes back to you multiple times over. So have you guys, I'm not sure if you guys have heard of the book Rich Dad, Poor Dad, but if you haven't, it's a good book. In the book Rich Dad, Poor Dad, he says, or he talks about the difference between assets and liabilities. He says, poor people, they buy liabilities. They buy cars, they buy boats, they buy things that they put money in, and the money disappears. But what rich people do, they put their money into investments that actually turns into more money for them. So when you're investing in yourself, in improving yourself, as opposed to something that's going to take money away from you, it's going to come back multiple times over. When you improve your life, you're not only benefiting yourself, but you're giving that back to everyone around you. When you have more time, more money, more happiness, more energy, more health, when you improve yourself, everyone around you benefits because you can give more of yourself to others. So we really want to keep in mind, whether it's a financial commitment or a time commitment or anything, that the idea is you want to invest in things that are going to bring more back to you. Okay, and that's why I love the concept of personal development. It's hard often for people to invest the time and money in themselves, because we just think, oh, I can't, I'm taking it away from my others. You're not taking it away from others. You're going to be able to give many times more back. And that really, really, I really hope that that message resonates with you guys, because even with their health, if really with any area of that's improving yourself, you want to make sure you realize when you improve, everyone around you benefits. I love this picture here, because this is another concept that I sometimes hear people say is, you know, they have a self-help section, and they've read all these books, they've got all this information, they've already done a lot of reading or resources, they've learned a lot, you know, and it hasn't maybe, you know, whatever. If you haven't created the results that you're looking for in your life and haven't really made that dramatic shift in your results, then you haven't changed your paradigm. Okay, the books and the knowledge are amazing, but you have to understand how to change your paradigm so that you can implement that information and that learning. And even Stephen Covey in the 7 Habits, am I getting the names right? Sorry, it is getting late. The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. He talks about the concept of paradigms. And he says, if you want to change your life, you have to change your paradigms. That 7 Habits book and that concept, that is taught in a lot of businesses. I have taken courses on it. It's really interesting and amazing information. But he mentions the idea of the importance of changing paradigms, but doesn't necessarily have the process. So it really is amazing to have these pieces put together to have a process to really shift your paradigms. So my last piece, you know, oftentimes people get to this point. I'm so excited. Thank you guys for sticking with me. You guys are amazing. I really appreciate you sticking with me. I hope you're motivated and excited today. But this is what happens. You get motivated, you think about this big goal, you're ready to change your paradigms, and you know, you've even break free of this fear, or, you know, the worry about the time or the money or the knowledge or any of that stuff. So you got past that, and now you're thinking, okay, I'm ready to take a step. And then fear hits. Fear hits. Can I really do that? Can I really do that? Oh gosh, what if I fail? What if I go off and I try to go after that big thing and I don't make it? Well, what if you win? What if you win? And you know, I don't care if you're too old, if you think you're too old, you think you're too young, you think you have the knowledge or the not or any experience, you can do anything you put your mind to. You've probably heard people say that. It's because it's true. You can do anything you put your mind to if you really want it, and if you make a decision that you are willing to do whatever it takes. But whatever it takes shouldn't kill you in the process. So you need to know how to shift your habitual way of being to more efficiently get there. Okay, but you can. I get so dramatic at this point. I know I get a little excited and emotional, but and it's really honestly because I've had such major shifts in my life. Shifts, that sounded like I said the S word. Shifts. I've had major shifts in my life with my health, with my business, like really almost hit the bottom there, okay, in my finances. So I really understand how it feels to make shifts. You don't have to hit the bottom. I would never wish anyone to go through that. If you're already successful and you just want to make a shift higher, then that's even more exciting because you're gonna be already partway there. But anything is possible, okay? And I will not give up on you. You're more likely to give up on yourself long before I will give up on you. I'm not gonna give up on you. Anything is possible. So if you are interested in, like I said, if you're excited, you're motivated, I'm happy to do a free consult and talk to you a little bit more. And if not, I'm hope that you've really been motivated and inspired today either way. I'm going to leave you with just one last thought before you go to sleep. One thing I might mention, actually, your paradigm, your subconscious mind is wide open right before you fall asleep. Right before you fall asleep, you've got whole free reign to deposit things directly into your subconscious mind. The rest of the day, you have to go through your conscious mind and shift. But right before you go to sleep, you got a teeny little window. If you can hold on to that one little moment to put something positive in your thoughts right before you go to sleep, you're going to make a little shift right then and there. So I'd like to ask you, what will it feel like when you get to become who you want to become. Do what you want to do. Have what you want to have, and give what you want to give. A lot of times our society has made it difficult for us to say, do what we want to do, or to feel like we deserve to have what we want to have. But if you see this as a scale, that once you become what you want, you can do what you want, you can have what you want, then you, and only then can you give what you want to give. Time, money, experience, happiness, joy, energy, health, whatever you want to give. You have to have more, you have to be more so that you can give more, and that people can resonate with. You know, I want you to feel comfortable and confident and have a, and realize you deserve it for yourself, but even more so, you are able now to really give that back to others. So this was one of the other things that inspires me, because now I am absolutely able to give this to others and give back and help change your lives as well. Okay, so let you ponder that. Like I said, if you would like to contact me, it's keepelevated.com/appointments. You should get a screen that pops up at the end there, but just in case it doesn't, feel free to type that in, or you can always email me as well. The appointments is just a little easier because you'll see my schedule and you can just pick a time that works for you. Okay. Thank you guys so much for sticking with me to the end. You are amazing. You're made for wonderful and amazing, great things, and you are going to go out there and kick butt in this world, okay? Thank you again so much. I got to see, oh yeah, sorry, I don't want to leave yet. I forgot how important, I almost ran off. I do want to let you, if you do have any questions, you are able to, oh, I see it, ask a couple questions here if you'd like. I'll be available for a moment. And or, of course, you can always email me. Yes, I did see some, yes. Yeah, Danica, you mentioned that's awesome that you read the book, The Secret, and watched the movie and you're practicing it. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, it's a really inspiring movie. If you haven't watched the movie, The Secret, it is really inspiring. Yeah, it's Bob is one of the speakers in that movie. It is inspiring. They talk about the law of attraction in that movie, and that is it's really important to kind of have a positive mindset and a positive idea. So that is that's an inspiring movie to watch for sure. Okay, I watch it regularly actually. So if there aren't any questions, if you do have any, feel free to add here. If not, have yourselves a wonderful, wonderful evening. Thank you so much, and have yourself a good evening. Okay. Good night.